Welcome to the Stories of Young podcast in collaboration with Made.com. My guest for today is an actress and she now plays in a Netflix series on the cover. I'm talking about Anna Drijver.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm so happy to have you here.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. This was actually one of my first hopes. When I met you, I was like, oh gosh, this is so cool. You have this podcast. So
that's glad cool. First of all, what do you like do you like the space we're in?
I love this. It's weird because you're walking around in something that looks like an actual dream house, but it's not cluttered and there's not stuff. And at my place, I never get it cleaned up. And there's always, just hair bands.
And you have kids, right?
I have kids, and you just keep cleaning everything up. But also just, I don't know, newspapers or keys. But here it's just like the way you wish your house was.
Yeah, I know.
I love it.
It's a dream space, definitely.
And it's inspiring because now I think pink on the wall. It's an option.
I know.
I never think about this.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an inspiration. I love this space too. Like I said, I'm really happy to have you here. But before we start, because I think you already saw these, we're going to play a small card game. These are the Stories of Young card games that I created just to start conversations. So I selected from this package, I selected 3 questions that I'm really interested in. So you're going to answer all 3, but just pick one first, read it out loud, and then answer the question.
Go for the one in the middle. What are you most proud of? I love this question, actually, because you see happening with me. You instantly go like, no. Well, at first, I should say I'm really proud of having healthy kids. Yeah. I mean, that's like a miracle. Mm-hmm. I mean,
we take these things for granted.
Yeah, I never take it for granted. Every day I'm like, wow, this happened.
Yeah.
Like overnight we became a family. I have kids and one is almost 4 and she has an opinion and she has, ideas and fantasy and her own life but it's weird. I don't know if I'm proud of that. It doesn't really feel like they are their own personalities. It's not like I'm...
But I think I understand that. I mean, I have a nephew that is 2 years old, and when I look at him, I feel proud too, just to be his auntie. Yeah. And I always tell my sister that I feel like I birthed him, So I can imagine you saying sometimes just sitting and looking at your children, you're like, oh my God, I actually have the life that I wanted. Yeah, that's a proud moment.
But because it's nature taking over your body when you're pregnant and nature taking over. Yeah. It doesn't feel like something I really fought for. So when I think of what are you most proud of, it's maybe like how I was brought up or maybe how I think, but it's something that I fought hard for what I just worked for. And then I think I would say my book, actually. I wrote 2 books, but my first book is that's something that I'm really proud of because it's something I typed really every word and all the versions and all everything that's cut out again. But that's like something I really
maybe you can tell us a little bit about the book.
Yeah, it's well, I am an actress and I always wanted to be. It's the best job in the world. It's something I love dearly, but it's you're always following orders or someone else's story, so you're always just acting out the story. And I wanted to make my own story and tell my own story, and I really felt like I want to be in control of something. And then I took control over all of my free time that I had and all my weekends and all my the time off. I mean, making a book is horrible. It's just every time that you're not writing, you're like, I should be writing. So it's awful. It's awful if you're doing it as a side job. But I did it, and I was like, I want to tell this story, and I want to write a book. I want to have an actual piece of, an actual
something physical.
Something physical. So that's something I'm really proud of. Yeah. And it feels like I'm more entitled to be proud of that because I personally worked hard for it, and the kids I haven't actively done anything. It feels.
I think being a mother is definitely something that not everybody could do or wants to do, or some people are scared of being a mom. So I think that's
everybody could totally.
It's a whole responsibility, right? Yeah. But then you also have your own podcast, which is, I think, also something to be proud of. I mean, so let's go back actually, because we got to know each other through Share the Mic.
Yeah, right? It was a lovely initiative and experience.
For the people who don't know Share the Mic was is a movement that started in America, moved over to the Netherlands, and it's basically a movement where white women give their platform to Black women to raise awareness on certain things.
Yeah.
And
for me, it came at a time when there was a whole Black Lives Matter movement again coming. I mean, it's everything. It's always
a lot of things happened this year.
This year, it came at a peak, and I think, like a lot of people, I was like, okay, but what can I do? Like, what can I actually do other than just repost things or support stuff online? Like, what can I do? And this project, brought us. They matched us, and we had a nice Instagram live chat, and we had all these questions, and all the questions were very legitimate, and people got to know you, and I got to know you, and it's really, nice.
So you're saying you actually participated because you wanted to add something to the movement instead of reposting, which I can relate to. Why? What was the most important thing for you while participating as well?
It was my my notion that I don't that I don't have a lot of Black people around me in my everyday work and life. And I was like, I should share more the platforms that I have. And I should go out of my bubble more. And I think the movie business or the TV and acting is it's getting better, I think, but it's in Holland it's quite white still. So I think
the Netherlands is quite slow sometimes.
So but I think it's coming. And it's of course it's everything's accelerated this year. So I'm quite hopeful actually. But it's not that the class where I went to theater school with, it's mostly white. So I was like, oh, this is a chance for me to get out of my bubble and to show my followers and your followers this is a conversation besides my bubble.
And that's exactly the conversation we had as well during our Instagram live. I also said that, okay, well, in my direct environment, I also don't have a lot of white friends. I don't want you to feel like, oh, now I need to look for Black friends, and oh, now I need to look for white friends. What I just loved about our conversation is that we spoke as Anna and Ashlee, and we really have things that connects us together. Like I said, you have your own podcast, I have a podcast. You're an actress. I wanted to become an actress one day in my life. Like when I was younger, it was either an actress or fashion. And I chose for fashion because that was like more the closest thing to me.
Your comfort zone.
It's my comfort zone. But acting is something that maybe one day, I don't know. But I was like, so when I think it's Janice and I can't remember the other lady's name that started the movement in the Netherlands. When they reached out to me, my first thought was like, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah, I understand.
And then I specifically asked them, like, okay, but who am I going to be connected with? And they said, Anna Drijver. And I knew you a little bit from, like I said, komt de vrouw bij de dokter. I knew you from that movie and some other things. So, but I didn't know you like that. So I looked you up, asked a few people, and everyone's like, yeah, Anna, she's cool. Yeah. I'm like, okay, well then, let's do it. And I'm really happy that we did it. And even after the live session, it was so genuine because we even had an appointment. We went for a coffee together. And I also really loved that conversation. So for me, it felt very genuine and also a reason to show people that, from that movement, we had a coffee and now you're here.
Yeah, and that's what it's weird because if you're above a certain age, you don't really make friends that easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're a student, you're like you have like 100 friends. It's your birthday when it's pre-COVID, and when you get older, you have like you have good friends. But
it's smaller but real.
But I was like, wow, this is someone who's an ambitious, creative woman like me, and I remember from this Friday when we spoke, I was like, oh, I can really have someone to give me like feedback on some things. Like, I can really use you as a klankbord.
But the same way for me as well, because before we went live, we had a conversation, and I said to you, a TV station reached out to us, remember?
Right.
And we both said like, no, we're not going to do
it.
A
talk show. And
we said both we're not going to do it. Yeah. But then you gave me a really good tip, and you were like, okay, well, if you don't want to go to the show, that's fine. But let them know that they can like save your number and your name just in case they need a creative consultant.
Have they contacted you?
No, okay, not yet. But maybe they haven't had a topic yet where I would be relevant.
Yeah.
But that was like a key tip. I was like, oh yeah, that's good. So sometimes just speaking to people that are not from your direct circle is always good, because we get to learn from each other.
Yeah, that's a way you can also like educate or help these all the talk show people behind the scenes, because they only have their amount of people they know, and they'll always go to the people they already know. Yeah. And every time there'll be everything, there's like film festival, and they'll call me, they're like, so do you have anything, instead of that they don't, they search. Sometimes it's the easy way out, and they might not know you yet, but if you, have a conversation with you, if you come there once to, to tell something about what you're doing or what your expertise is, that's good, because then we get a really like a mixed table.
But that's shows. One of my reasons why I also started my own creative agency, is really to help other brands to get out of their comfort zone, to meet other creative people, because everybody works with the people they know. This is the reason why I started this podcast, and I'm also very interested in you giving me that tip, and you having your own podcast as well, and working in the film industry. How do you make sure that the tip that you gave to me, that you actually also do that in the film industry? Do you also tell the people you work with, like, hey, do this, do that, or have you started something for yourself that is going to, like, basically what my question is what are you doing now to make a change in the environments that you are in?
Interesting. Actually, from acting, which is, like I said, pretty much just doing it and not making it up or setting out what's the story going to be, I'm more into telling the story, like more like I wanna like, say what's gonna happen.
Because that's also the idea of your podcast, right, Camera?
That's that's different. There I wanna like learn from everybody that I interview. I interview like the writers or the directors, or I had just had a conversation with a lovely woman. She was born in Algeria and grew up here and in Paris, but she's now one of the world's leading costume designers. Oh, wow. So she just did Black Widow, which basically is Scarlett Johansson in a beautiful... Cool. And she did all the Harry Potter movies and the last 2 Bond movies.
So that's really cool, because with your podcast, you get to meet so many people.
And she's awesome. She's just an awesome person. So the basis is just my curiosity and my awe for these people. Like, how do you do this? How do you work? How do you find out, what Scarlett Johansson wants to put on, and how do you work like between being an artist and the craftsmanship? Like, just how do you fix it? How do you make those costumes? So it's my curiosity, but in what I'm gonna do now is more into writing the show. So I'm actually writing a TV show now for my friend Elise Schaap, and she's an actress. And I want to be more into telling the stories. So not just like, okay, let's wait for a script. But like, I'm inspired by her, and I see a story around me, and I want to write it and make it with her. So that's what we're gonna do, and that's what I'm gonna. That's what I'm focusing on, and I'm gonna train more. I'm gonna do a workshop about this. So I think I was really inspired by I May Destroy You, the HBO show. Did you watch it?
What's the name?
I May Destroy You. Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't.
It's by
I haven't.
Michaela Cole, and she actually wrote the show herself. She's a Ghanese Londoner, and she wrote it about.
Oh my God! Yeah. Okay, wait. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Rings a bell?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, you should.
But I am a fan of Michaela, and like she did Bubble Gum, right? She's amazing.
She's amazing.
I'm reading everything about it. I haven't seen it.
The show is just it blows you away. And she wrote it herself.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is what we should do. We shouldn't wait for old white men to write stories and
but she's also very open about how the industry really works, right? Because she's been getting a lot of backlash, not backlash,
she got a lot of rejection.
Exactly. So
they were all like, you should change this and that. She was like, no, I'm not changing anything. Yeah. And it turned out, and it's an awesome show. But
are these things that you are facing as well? Because she's obviously talking from a perspective of a black woman perspective, like the stories that she writes, she really wants to like own her stories, and she doesn't want to compromise. She also talks a lot about, as a black woman, struggling with all these things.
I cannot relate to that because I will never know that, but I can relate to her being a woman and it's also about sexual assault and being objectified and I think that's really interesting. Like, as a woman, are you still in control if you walk around sexy? You can do that for your own confidence. Like, hell, we should all be allowed to. And if you get harassed, I mean, that's awful, and somehow it's still sort of the woman's fault, or that's what the show's about as well. So I can't relate to her as a black woman because I will never know. I will never know how that is.
But maybe as a woman,
but as a woman, I can feel the nuances that she has in her show, and there's so many good scenes about that, about being a woman and being in relationships with men. So I think I had never seen it in that way. Yeah, and I think that's told from her, and it's so real. Yeah, and I think she told it from her perspective, and that's why I'm like, oh, I understand this. I know this. So and it's very a London hip scene, and I don't know her, but I can relate. I can.
That's really good
because she's true to what she's telling.
Yeah. So as an actress now, because I think you said before that as an actress you get the script and then you just play the role. How are you now as an actress? Can you now decide what roles you want to play? Can you help also behind the scenes in changing the scripts? How does it, now that you're more conscious? Because I think, have you always wanted to be an actress?
Yeah, always. Okay. I grew up
That's
watching
cool. So you're
Star Wars and I don't know, E.T. and all. I just wanted to be an actress, and I was like, but everybody wants to do this, right? And then I thought it was so obvious that it's obviously the best job in the world. And it turned out not everybody wanted to do it. It's like, okay, well, this is what I want to do. And I did love studying as well. So I liked learning other things. But I was like, no, but eventually I want to play movies. That's what I want to do. But I don't really get to say, well, unfortunately, I want to do something now about this, and hope there's a script, because there's not I'm still dependent on what's being made. It's a really costly thing. It's really expensive making a movie, making series. So it's like I have to wait for things, and it's not that I say no to things every day, and I'm really picky, but there's not a lot of that comes by, like, you want to play this, you want to play this. It's not a lot, I have to say that.
That's interesting, because in our first season we had Yuta, with Yuta Wong Loy Song, who's also an actress.
I know her, she's amazing.
Yeah, I think she played with your
with my boyfriend.
Your partner, with your boyfriend, exactly. And then she was also saying the same, that she moved to, not moved to, but she had more roles in America.
Yeah.
So that is definitely something in this film industry in the Netherlands,
actually
right?
really had, because I, as a, I'm white, and I can be cast as a lead easier for maybe things are changing, but Utah really had an issue. Like not
roles.
Every big romantic comedy, which is for the big audience, they don't really. Sometimes they don't dare to take the risk of taking. I don't know. And
how can we change this in the Netherlands? How can we change this?
I think it's coming. And there's a really cool movie now being made, Meskina, by Danya Bukvic. It's about a Moroccan chick. It's a Moroccan chick who is divorced, which is a shame apparently in Moroccan culture. But I think it's
that's already changing the narrative, like the traditional stories. That's good.
And sometimes I'm also missing like a Moroccan Cosby show, like something like that. Like not Bill Cosby's a monster. Turned out to be a monster, but
I get it. Just a family.
Before we knew this,
I
want to know, just give me like a cool family thing.
That's so good.
Give me like a series about a Moroccan family. I want to see this. I want to. I don't understand why is it taking so long?
But you could definitely be a part of that change now that you're writing more scripts. You know, you never know.
Yeah, I never know. Yeah,
maybe somebody's listening to this podcast and is like, "Yo, I want to work with Anna."
Absolutely, yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, there's so many. Yeah,
but there's a lot of stories. Yeah, and that's really what I like, that you tell stories behind the scenes of the film industry. Like you said, as an actress, and that's also something really interesting. You said while we were live, you said when a film gets released, the actors get invited. The actors get invited for the interviews, while they did not even write the movie.
It's so weird. It's like, and this I found out when I wrote a movie, which was I did a rewrite of a romantic comedy, Weg van jou, and then it came out, and there was all these actors in magazines, like I'm doing for 20 years, I know, and they're giving interviews, and I'm like, but you don't. I mean, you
didn't even
you were
write
only
it.
booked like a month before. You didn't know. I know all the versions of the scripts, and I was like, this is so weird. There's so many people who know more about the stories, and then as an actor, you have to say, well, this scene is here because I know, and it's also our culture that we're more the audience is used to just going to the movies for an actor.
For the actors, true.
It's true. But there's a lot of interesting stories about the people who made up the story or who made the movie or
that's really good. So
in my podcast it's like no actors. I have like everybody but actors.
But actors. No, that's really good. So for people who want to work in the film industry and want to know how it all works, definitely listen to Anna's podcast.
There's a couple in English, I think.
And also, talking about English, because we are both Dutch.
Yeah.
Which I always say in all my episodes, if I speak to Dutch people, we're both Dutch, we speak English. Now with this Netflix series on the cover, you speak different languages or dialects, is it right? You speak Dutch, Vlaams, and Brabant?
No, not my character, but
your character. Yeah.
No, not my character.
Okay.
Really. I play two. I'm an undercover agent, and I like my alias, my cover up has a different accent, but I'm not. I don't speak Flemish.
Okay.
I wouldn't dare to. No, because it was all with Belgian. It's a completely Belgian series. Just a couple of actors are Dutch, and everybody's Belgium, and it's really hard to really speak Flemish. It's really hard. So I could try, but I couldn't try it amongst everyone who's really native.
Okay, but you do work with people who do speak the language.
Yeah.
And how are you? Is it hard to work with them?
Yeah, absolutely. It was really lonely as well, because we filmed for like 7 months.
Yeah.
And, the other couple of Dutch actors weren't there all the time. So most of the time I was there with all these Belgian people, and I really couldn't understand them sometimes. I was like, what are you saying? Because it's the same sort of language.
But it's different.
5 times. What are you saying? Yeah. What are you saying? And then there was the cultural difference. Like I'm quite extroverted. I think for a Dutch person, I'm also quite direct. Like, okay, so if we're working together, I'm like, okay, we're working together. How's this? Is this light fixed? Can we do it? Can we? What are we waiting for? You know, and they were like, whoa, like,
chill.
Yeah, they were very introverted, and they won't say what's going on. And I was like, I feel there's something going on, but no one's saying something. So what's this was really, I felt like an elephant in a porcelain cast. I don't know what's the English. No,
I don't even know.
I felt really
isolated,
fish out of the water there, because it was really it was hard sometimes.
But as a Dutch actress, you do have an international reach, right?
Yeah.
And how are you finding that?
That's so weird with the Netflix show. It's really, it's weird. Every day I get like DMs on Instagram or comments from all over the world. Wow. And I think it's so cool, but I still don't really can wrap my head around it, because like, so you live in Pakistan and you binge watched a whole 10 episodes about a series about ecstasy in Brabant on a camping site, and people love it.
Yeah,
it's so weird that it's translated so well.
I think that is so good, because the Netherlands is really small, and for you to have those roles and that is translated in different many languages for other people to actually also understand or watch it, I think that's what I also find very inspiring, because in the Netherlands, we're all very like chilled, and nobody wants to do like it should never be too complicated.
No. And you shouldn't aim too high.
No, don't
aim too high. No. But it's what the good thing about it is that these makers who were from Belgium, they said, we want to be true, always stay true to the story that you want to tell. Yeah. And they were like, we should act local. Yeah. And then we'll go global. That was a thing, but it's just like true to the scene what you want to tell, and I think that always works. Yeah. And that in movies, that's always great thing that works. I mean, we saw the Parasite from the Oscar-winning Korean movie, and I never been to Korea. I don't know the language. I don't really know the society or the sense of humor. But I got that movie. I was like, it got me. I was like, this is amazing. So it's, if you stay true to what you want to do, then I'll think it'll resonate.
Yeah, and that's true, because like with this podcast, for instance, we're speaking English, like I said, and for me, normally speaking Dutch would be easy, right? But then I feel like, because I also have an international reach, how will they understand what we're talking about? Because nobody speaks Dutch in other countries. No. So, and you also have, like I said, an international reach. So is this, do you find it more fun to do, like work on projects where you speak, for instance, English, or would you then also like to stay true to yourself and speak Dutch?
I think I will. This doesn't even feel weird, actually. Speaking to you in English doesn't feel weird. So I wouldn't mind, actually. I would I love speaking English as well, or I did German movies and I did an Italian movie, and I'm now in a vampire series which is gonna come with a second season, and I just got a link this weekend, so I just got to watch a few for the cast members. We got to watch a few clips, and I heard myself speak English. I was like, oh, this is a cool English, vampire English. Okay. So it's I love that you don't even have to know where I'm from, but the story has to be right.
It's about the story for you.
Always about the story. Yeah.
Okay, so you said that you would actually really travel for work.
Yeah, I do everything.
You would do everything.
I'd shave my head.
Really? Would you?
I would. Yeah, for a role, if it makes sense, and
why is it so important for you? Why would you go all the way for work?
Because I think it's the most important thing. I don't know. I think movies and TV. To me, it's the most beautiful thing in the world. Wow. It's every time it comes down to that, actually. Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's weird. I mean, there's to some people there might be more important things, but every time I see something that really changes me, or I'm like that. This is what I live for. I don't know.
That's so nice. I can hear that this is real to you. Like even for me with this podcast and everything that I do, the reason why is because I really want to make an impact, and I can hear that is for you through acting. Yeah. Right? Like this is for you real.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, then I have one more question.
Yeah.
Because we actually had 3 cards, but I loved your first answer so much that I forgot about the 2. So this is another one. Okay. I'll give it to you.
Thank you. Which worries you more, doing things right or doing the right thing? So which worries me more, doing things right or doing the right thing? I think the last, doing the right thing. I think people say, I have said I'm perfectionist, but I'm like, I feel sloppy. I can always, I don't know, I don't like ending or finishing it, and just, so I'm doing things right is up to some degree, but I think doing the right thing, that's more, I think, more important. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last question. What do you want the listeners or the people watching to know from you?
Oh, to know about me, or like
what is something that you want to leave behind? I mean, they've heard our conversation. Some of them may know you, some of them may not know you. So what is something that you really want the people to know, and that really represents you as well?
At this moment I would just say, if you want to do something or make something and you're not sure if you're good at it or whatever, do it anyway. That's what I'm gonna say now, because I'm at that point in my life as where I'm like, okay, so this is my comfort zone. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna write a show. I'm gonna be a showrunner that's out of my comfort zone. But I'm like, I'm gonna do it anyway, because I'll find out if it's gonna work or not, and we can always learn stuff on the go. So I would say, if people listen to this and think like, I have a lingering dream, or I actually want to do this, or I want to, I don't know, make a web shop, or I don't know, just whatever, do it, and then you'll find out if it works. So that's what I'm. So too. That's for today.
Thank you so much, Anna. I really love this conversation. Like we said, it was so quick.
It flew by. We could go on for hours.
We could go on, but no, thank you so much. And
thanks for having me.
I really hope you enjoyed this conversation too. And I hope you guys loved it too. Okay. Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.